Solutions, and I am here today on Focus Forward with an absolutely phenomenal guest. I am so excited to be introducing the author of this book, I've Been Called the B Word, Now What Do I Do? This is by Dr. Kay Green, and let me tell you, this book is fabulous. I am so excited to have Dr. Kay with me today. Dr. Kay.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. So now you have not only this book, but you also have a marketing company, right?
Yes, I do. I am the CEO and president of RKG Marketing Solutions.
So now I'm going to jump right in and I'm going to ask you a question. Did you get the information for this book through your marketing company, or did your marketing company come through this book?
I think it was actually a combination of both. I think through my experiences and the people that I've met and just having the opportunity to start a company really had an impact on me. And I really wanted to create a manual for women that could really help them in terms of starting their own businesses, entrepreneurship, climbing that corporate ladder, all the above.
But this book, the way that I see this book is this could help anybody in any walk of life, not only an entrepreneur. I mean, this is like show up on time. This is implement your strategy, create your contingency plan. I mean, this book is like, for me, this book was like the Bible.
You know what? It works. It works for so many different types. And we started out initially, Lori, with the thought that we're going to actually focus on women. But I've had so many men who actually wanted to be a part of it. And so it really works for so many different demographics, so many different age groups, all of the above. So it's really an open market at this point.
Well, it really gives you an opportunity to understand what you're going to need in this world right now for success. I mean,
definitely, and that's why we use the New Age title.
Right. So now, I know in this book you use a group of not only entrepreneurs. Some women from this group are basketball coaches at universities. Some women are in corporate America. So how did you use those people in this book?
Well, I wanted to take a different look. I didn't want it just to be my perspective per se. I wanted it to be an array of women, just so many different personalities and different experiences so that every woman or every man could see themselves in that person.
Well, that's absolutely there. So, so tell us a little bit about what's in the book. I read it, I love it, but give our viewers a little bit of the benefit from the information.
Well, I took it from a perspective. We started, each chapter is a rule of business, or rule for business for women. And so we start out with developing the right mind frame. And we go through 12 steps, 12 key rules in business that'll help anyone who's trying to climb that corporate ladder or into a specific industry, entrepreneurship, or just life skills itself. And so Rule 2 talks about attaining goals, for example. Rule 3 talks about finding your niche. And Rule 4 is my absolute favorite. It's understanding the power of you, who you are, selling your brand, all that stuff.
Well, I loved it. What I was really impressed with, let me see which rule it is, because I remember it, but I don't remember which rule it was. It was the one about implementation and strategy. So for me, I find a lot of people do all the, here it is, rule number 9. Yep, rule number 9, implementation and strategy. I find a lot of people collect all the information, they set their goals, they have their plan, they do all this, but they don't implement.
I can't tell you how many times I have come across clients, students, and just people that I come across in life that are so afraid to go out there and implement. And I tell them, I said, you can have all the most wonderful ideas in the world, but until you actually implement, you'll never actually see what you can actually accomplish. And so for me, that chapter was really about showing people that it's not only about just having strategy. You have to have strategy plus implementation in order for it to be effective.
So why do you think that is? Why do you think that people don't really want to pull the trigger? Have you figured that out?
Fear. It's fear. It's absolute fear. Most people are literally afraid to jump off the ledge, so to speak. And so it's always that first step is always the hardest. And so with that chapter, I really wanted to make the point that even if you do all the planning, even if you do all of the preemptive work, unless you take that first step, you're not going to get it done. It's all about taking that first step, making and taking the steps.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, how do you help people push through that fear? Because I know you're really good. You do so many things. You're also a professor. You know, you do so many things. You come in contact with people and you move them from point A to where they want to go. How do you do it?
Well, I lead by examples, Lori. That's the thing. I'm one of those people that actually believe that anything is possible. And so with me knowing that, I actually give people that confidence. I don't know where it comes from, but I really do. People tend to be really confident once they have the consultation with me, once they talk with me, once we talk about what their goals are, and then I actually provide them a blueprint for how to get it done. This is what you need to do. This is the time you need to get it done, and this is what we're actually, going to do. And if something happens, we'll go back, we'll benchmark, we'll make the necessary changes and move forward. And I think some people just need that push. And I'm that person to give that push.
I could see that, yes. You're so dynamic and exciting. I can see where people would say, oh, I want to do what she's doing. I want to follow in that. Yeah, so the other thing that I really appreciated about your book was the fact that as you're reading the book, it's like you're taking basic skills and you're building on those skills. And you're giving them different ideas on how to utilize those skills. So it's really, in a way, it's basic, but the other part of it is, no matter where you are, it seems like you could use these skills to bump it up to the next level.
Right, and that's the key to it. That was the entire key to it, Lori. I didn't want to make a book that says, well, do it just like Dr. K does it. Because we're all different. We're all very unique. We have our own specific gifts, our specific talents. And so this whole thing is about turning the search inward, really looking at what you do, what you bring to the table, and how you can utilize your skills.
Well, one of the things that I loved about it was not only your perspective. In this book, we have women that are from third world countries or developing nations. We have people that are working at multinational corporations. We have a full mix. So you really got you got to know the people that you had in the book. It.
I can tell you, Lori, every time I conducted interviews, I would get so excited after I finished the interview. I'm like, it's absolutely amazing. I just kept telling myself, I said, this is so amazing that you hear all these different perspectives, and they're from so many different backgrounds, and they're different ages, and they're in different industries, and it's just amazing to me. And they had such just unique stories, literally. They had really unique stories, and they were amazing, and I'm just excited that I was able to share their perspectives.
So now I have a question about that. How did you come in contact with that group of women? I have to know.
By nature, Lori, I'm a researcher. And so by myself being a researcher, I use those wonderful research skills that I had. And I went online and I started to look up the women, specific women in their own industries. And so I looked up the top 40 under 40. I looked at the most influential under 20. I looked at different entrepreneurs. I looked specifically for Hispanic. I looked for specific women from Africa. And I reached out, and amazingly, Lori, I came up with a group of 12. That was my number. And I wanted to get a diverse group. So I didn't want it to just be African-American or Caucasian or Hispanic. I wanted an array. I wanted a rainbow of women. And I came up with that.
So when you say that, you put that group together, which was absolutely, when I was reading this, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what a range. What a range of people, what a range of experiences. I mean, that really gives, people can look at that book and they can see themselves in that book, no matter who they are, which I really liked. So they could see that. But the other thing about it was the stories that you chose to highlight from those women really gave you an idea, wow, people live such diverse lives, which is amazing to me.
Yeah, literally. It was one of those things, as I said, every time I would do the interview and I would listen to their stories, and I just told them, I said, just talk. Let's just talk. And let's talk about your experiences. And it was amazing because they all had these wonderfully different perspectives as to how to approach the industry and the things that they'd gone through. And they were all really just people. And we all experience some of the same things, and we have some of the things, emotions. But the beauty of it is that it's really helpful to have someone who's been in the industry or in the industry that you would want to be in, that give you that blueprint or that experience to let you know that it's definitely doable.
Exactly, exactly. So now I'm going to ask the question I'm sure everyone is asking themselves.
Yes.
Tell us about the name. How did you come up with this name?
Oh my gosh. It's one of those things where I was thinking about writing a book, and here I am finishing my PhD. And my mentor, he said, well, Kay, how are you going to make a contribution to your industry? He said, I know you've already you've done your PhD, finished that, you're just a wonderfully wonderful businesswoman, but what are you really going to do that's going to make your mark? And I thought about it. I said, you know what? I really would like to give back. I want to give a manual to help women, and not only women now, I guess, just everyone. And here we are. My accountant, he actually came over here, and he's this older gentleman. He's very conservative. And I'm thinking about these different titles. And he said, I tell you what, it needs to be catchy, it needs to be riveting, and it needs to grab attention. And he said, it needs to keep people guessing. And I came up with it, and I called him. I said, how about this? I've been called the B word. Now what do I do? He said, amazing. He said, there you have it. That's it.
Well, I loved it. From the first moment I saw it, I was like, I love this. This is such a great title. This is such a phenomenal title. It's so fun and interesting, and everybody has to see what's in the book. So, so tell us a little bit about what you do. Tell us about your life.
Well, here I am. I'm one of these people. I'm very innovative. I'm always thinking and creating new things. I've had the opportunity to own different things, to start different businesses, but my passion is marketing. It's definitely marketing. So everything under that realm. I have clients, I have small businesses that I work with, I work with some corporations. It depends on what the need is. And really, I help people to really establish their brands, especially online. And I've also had the opportunity to work with various universities as well. I've worked with the University of California. I've worked with Florida Tech. I've worked with Embry-Riddle, quite a few different universities, helping them to transfer the marketing classroom to the online environment as well. And when I'm not doing that, I'm all over the social media. I'm a huge social media buff.
Well, we've had some social media volleys that have been very good.
Oh my gosh, so, I'm a huge social media buff.
I love social media. I think it's so much fun. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've had, what successes you've had with the book? What do you think, like for someone out there that's a new author, what advice could you give them?
Definitely patience is important. You have to understand that more often than not, it's going to take a while to really build your momentum. Creating a very strong online presence is certainly important. Putting out articles. I at least put out at least one article every 7 days. It really helps to link back to your book, and it highlights the points that you want to make, definitely. Also, with publishing, if you're going to self-publish or whatever the situation may be, get with a really good self-publisher, someone that really understands the industry and that can really walk you through it if you're a new author, of course. And just have fun with it. I mean, really have fun with it and embrace it. I mean, it's your baby almost. I can't tell you how excited I was to actually get that first book in my hand.
Yeah, it's a very exciting process. It's almost like you know, it's so, you hold that book and you just look at it and you just can't believe it. It's almost like you just can't believe it.
I literally could. When I first got that book, that first book in my hand, it was just the most amazing experience that I've ever had. Because here I am, it's all of my thoughts poured out on paper, written, my ideas, all of the above. And so it was nothing like it.
Nothing like it at all. So there was a question I was going to ask you about your marketing of this. So what do you find has been the #1 most successful thing that you've done for the marketing of your book?
It's really interesting you asked me that. I have one word: Twitter.
Really?
Yes, Twitter has been amazing. And just to give you a little marketing tip here, people typically store things in their mind after seeing it about 7 times.
Yep.
So for me, that's a strategy that I use. You know, it's always promoting the book. We're doing B-word rule book quotes. We're doing a entrepreneur of the week from the B-word book, that type of thing. So we're doing a lot of different promotions to really, you know, brand the book, so to speak. And it's really working. So Twitter is an excellent output.
So what do you find that gives you the most success with Twitter? Is it just repetition or?
Well, the hashtags. Hashtag, also really pulling out the main points from the book, hashtagging, people start to retweet it, and it begins to catch on. Definitely.
Fabulous. Fabulous. The other thing that I loved was the article that you wrote in the Huffington Post.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I was just saying that was fabulous.
I had the opportunity. Arianna Huffington actually said herself, she's like, I love your writing. And she said, I would love for you to be a contributor. So that was huge for me. So I started to contribute to the Huffington Post in November. And I've been putting out articles ever since. They've been very well received. And, you know, it's just great.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's fabulous. So now, when we're looking at what do you think is when you're marketing? All right, so you're not marketing the book, you're marketing your company. What do you think are the most important tips for marketing?
Selling your brand. I think you have to create your own brand that works for you and coming across as authentic. And I know you and I have had these conversations, Lori, about, you know, just really being yourself and embracing who you are. And I think with that brand, you have to have that one word that really describes you. And for me, it's always worked for Dr. K to be very bold. It definitely worked. And I would definitely say understanding that your brand has value is certainly the most important point.
Wow, that's great. Did you happen to see, I'm trying to remember her, I put something online yesterday that was fabulous about the, I think her name is Sally Hutchinson, the hairdresser in California.
I didn't see that.
That was fabulous. She charges $800 for a haircut. And, you know, all the online, everybody was up in arms about it. And she has such a powerful brand and such a strong brand. I mean, if she could get $800 for a haircut and she has a line of people waiting to get her hair, fabulous. And it's basically about her personal brand.
Well, here's the thing. Now, years ago, it was all about the pricing. People would, the lowest price, they'll run to that. Well, because it's so much competition that exists today, it's all about creating that value. How are you going to communicate that to your customers? What is it about your brand that's so differentiated that people are going to buy from you, excuse me. And so Sally Hutchinson has done that. $800 for a haircut. That's marketing.
I love it.
And branding.
So So what's your advice for actually doing that, for actually being able to market from the position, the unique selling proposition? What do you think that is?
You have to find your niche. What is it that you can do better than someone else, that you can be the best at? Somehow you have to create that blue ocean. What makes you different? When you find that key thing, you focus in on it and you find the best target market that will buy that product or service.
Yes, that's it exactly. So a lot of marketers are afraid of niche marketing. They're afraid of it. They want to go broad, and they want to see if they can market on price, and they want to see if they can capture their customer through actually getting volume, you know?
Well, here's the thing, and I think we have to remember that 80-20 rule. 20% of your customers account for 80% of your revenue. And that's niche marketing at its best. And so we have to understand that when we're thinking about marketing today. Everyone's not going to be your customer, and they're not going to be for your business. And what you want to do, I would rather, this is just my personal opinion, I would rather go after those customers who I'm going to build a solid, steady, long-term relationship than trying to go after every customer, and they may be short-term relationships. Overall, your company will be more profitable with those customers that you build those relationships with.
That was another part of your book that I like so much, where you did talk about building those relationships, understanding how to keep those relationships live. And then the thing that I liked the most was the appreciation. The appreciation was there. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, here's the thing. Your customers are what drives your business. Actually, your customers and employees. They drive your business. And so the more you make them feel appreciated and the more you make them feel as if they're a part of the organization, the more loyal they're going to be. And so for you, the task as a marketer or a CEO or whatever you may be is to create and foster and nurture that relationship with your customers.
Exactly.
And they will stay. Yeah,
exactly.
They definitely will.
Because it's like the repeat people coming back and also recommending, vital. Yes. It's vital to any business.
Think about it, Lori. How many times have you gone to a specific organization, purchased service, purchased a product, not just because that product was just so exceptional, but you love the customer service. They treated you well. They smiled at you. They talked to you. They knew what you wanted to hear and all of the above. And it creates an experience for you. It's all about that experience marketing.
It's all about the customer experience. That's it exactly. So now, what's next for you? What's next for Dr. Kay Green?
Well, here we are, and we are creating the B-Word Rulebook Tour. Can you believe that? The B-Word Rulebook Tour. So we're creating that, and we are getting ready to set out for several cities. I will be doing book signings, and I will be conducting seminars, Q&A sessions, and all of the above.
Wow, that sounds fabulous. Are you coming to Minneapolis?
I'm excited. I am, and I'm coming personally to see you.
Great, I can't wait. That's fabulous. I can't wait to see you. Well, you have so many exciting things going on. I really, really, really want to thank you for being on the show today. And I'm going to recommend, once again, the B Word. Yes. I've been called the B Word. Now, what do I do? This is a remarkable book.
I love it.
So thank you so much for being on. And I really did. I really had a great time. Learned so much from you, and I want to continue our relationship.
Oh my gosh, that's what it's about. This is the start of a beautiful one.
This is the start of a beautiful one. Yes. So this is Lori Flaquer coming to you from Focus Forward, and I just want to give you a little bit of, share a little bit of advice. We see books all the time that come and go. I'm always talking about books on this show, and most of the books that I'm talking about, I think, would be vital for an entrepreneur, a business person starting out, or just somebody looking for the next job. And I want to say that this book, I think, could be instrumental in helping people understand exactly how they can manage their career. This is like the Bible for somebody that needs help, that maybe they're moderately successful, but they want to take it to the next level. I want to recommend this book for you because this has all the ingredients in it for a winning career. So I just want to take a minute and say, I've been called the B word. Now what do? It's a winner in my category. So absolutely, pick it up, read it, underline it, do what needs to be done, but follow the advice here. So I'm Lori Flecker of Soltar Solutions. Thank you so much for tuning in today to Focus Forward.